I have chosen to call my final project, What Would Shakespeare Do? Every year I teach my ninth graders Romeo and Juliet, and every year I hear the same remarks over and over and over again. Why didn't they just run away together? Why did they have to kill themselves? This is ridiculous. Nobody would think to do that. Well, I can't rewrite Shakespeare, but I've come up with a game concept where the kids could noodle with the stories but still have to come up with the same outcome as Shakespeare. So here's how What Would Shakespeare Do would go. With Romeo and Juliet, I've chosen 30 distinctive places throughout the play where the student in his avatar, his or her avatar, would be in the scene, and once I learned how to program this stuff, I would create the scene. I would have Verona, and then there'd be Mantua, and then there'd be the characters, but the avatar would be able to come into this little scene. And they would have two choices. Now, 15 of the 30 scenes that I've chosen, one of the two choices will be actually what happened in the play. From the other 15 scenes that I've chosen, both choices will be something that didn't happen in the play. The player will have to make a choice based on what they already know, plus what they learned from the play to know what they need to get to in the end. Make a decision and see how things play out. At a certain point, if you've made too many wrong decisions, you would be forced to start over again and hopefully do better. I'm not exactly sure what that number is yet, because I've come to realize after reading Aldrich's book that I have to learn a whole lot about programming and also do a lot more research about what the level is when a child becomes frustrated with a game, especially when you're looking at something that by nature doesn't come naturally to children. You have to learn to read and appreciate Shakespeare. But there's a company that makes curricular plans for gifted and talented and pre-AP and AP kids, and I plan to, once I get some kind of simulated mock-up made, to present this, because it would be a game that I could make for all of the Shakespearean plays. And once I've done the most common plays that are taught in American high schools, I could branch out into some of the sonnets as well. Something along the same lines, but it'd have to be a little bit different, since yes, a sonnet has a certain point in the end, but it won't be as linear as doing the plays will be. Once again, the students will have read the play. They'll have 30 different scenes with which to play. They'll have two choices to make each time they come to the end of a particular scene. 15 of those 30 choices, one of the actual choices will be what Shakespeare himself did right. In the other 15, there'll be two different choices. They'll have to continue to make successful choices, yet come out with the same outcome, which would have Romeo and Juliet dead and the feud be over with, even though they came about it in a different trail than Shakespeare did in order to win the game. If they had too many mistakes too early on, they would be booted back to the beginning of the game. So that's my concept. It's called What Would Shakespeare Do? And there's no animosity intended at all toward any Christian religion because of the title. I just thought it would be catchy and look good on one of those plastic bracelets too. Thank you so much, and I hope you'll be seeing my game on the shelves soon.